I'll click that. All right, we're live. All right, everybody, welcome to my first ever TLC recap show. If you hear my son screaming in the background, don't worry. He just woke up from nap time. So he's not going to be joining us on the live. But if you are not familiar with my YouTube page, if you're not familiar with me, I'm Sarah Fraser. I have a podcast, radio personality, TV host, comedian, and I'm obsessed with TLC. So tonight we're doing our first ever TLC recap show. You're going to maybe see him pop in and out, but Jeremy is here who's producing the show. So Jeremy's going to be adding pictures because we have a ton to talk about. We have to talk about Darci and Stacy. They were actually on my podcast live today. So I'm going to talk about Darci and Stacy. Shayna Rae, you guys, I am Shayna Rae on TLC. We did it again. All right. I will tell you about the news publication that picked up my interview with her. Very controversial because some people were not happy about that. Okay. Oh, good. All right. We're live. I'm going to share this too on my social media outlets. So I want to start with Darci and Stacy. We're going to talk Shayna Rae. I also have some scoop for you on, is Shayna Rae's cancer back? A lot of people have been talking about that online. So I have some exclusive news on that because she was just on my show, so I can get into it. We're going to be crowning the Hottie of the Week award on TLC, and then Gino. Oh my God. I mean, are you guys, I have to say 90 Day Fiance before the 90 days airs, or before the 90 days is probably one of my favorite seasons ever. Gino and Jasmine, I am obsessed with this dynamic. But was Gino a sugar daddy? That's what we really need to know. And would you want to be Gino's sugar babe? That would be the absolute question. So I'm going to get into all that. I'm going to share. Hold on. Okay, Jeremy, I'm going to bring you in for 1 second because Jeremy, can you hear me? Are you on?
Hello. Hello.
Oh, there you are. Oh, good. You're live on.
It's testing. It's working.
Okay, good. Yeah, I was going to say it's working. We're live, and I'm going to share it now on my platforms because at first we were like, well, is this going to work? Because I'm not going to promote this to everybody if, in fact, we're not live. But we're live. All right, our first ever TLC recap. Hold on. Everybody stand by. I'm going to get everybody going. I'm going to share this on my Twitter, on my Facebook, on my Instagram story, and then we're going to get into all the TLC recap of the week. So hold on 1 second. I'm live. Okay. Now on my YouTube with my first TLC recap of the week show. Join us. Okay. All right. Going. Okay, doing it there. Hold on, stand by. Jeremy's like, I'm standing by.
I'm setting, actually. Not moving.
Okay, great. Publishing that. And then hold on, one more thing. All right, everybody. Hi. We're getting ready to talk TLC recap because I'm obsessed and I felt like, you know what? It's time every week to have a place where we can talk about all of our favorite TLC shows. And now I'm just going to share it live. Hold on. Let me get the good light. Hold on. I got several ring lights going here. I got to get the good light. All right, kind of impromptu, very last minute, but you can hop on over to my YouTube page. I'm doing a YouTube live weekly recap of all my TLC shows. I felt like I had to do this because today I ended up getting more Shayna Rae press with that interview with I Am Shayna Rae. Darci and Stacy are on the podcast. So I almost figure every week, maybe we need a place where we can just talk TLC, where we can recap the drama, the dish, the dirt, all of it. So I'm going live right now on my YouTube. Come join. All right, hang on. Okay, hold on. Let me just post this link. Oh my God, you guys, thank you for bearing with me on the first show. show. Okay. Stand by. Oh my God, my lips are so dry. Leah, get in here, girl. Leah Henry's here. Get in here, sister. I emailed you the link. Leah Henry, I emailed you the link, girl. Get on. There's only like 2 other people watching. I need your ass. Okay, hold on. Sharing a link. Okay, there we go. All right. We're good. We're good. And then hopefully Leah is going to her email. You guys know Leah Henry, radio personality, host of Leah's Lemonade. She's also a TLC fan. So let me give you the layout. If you're just joining, I expect more people are going to join now that I actually shared it. We're doing a little TLC recap of all your favorite TLC shows from the week. How much money have Darci and Stacy spent on their plastic surgery? I have an exclusive. Also on the internet apparently wants Darci and Jesse to get back together. I have no idea why, but I asked her about that. If you are dying to hear the full interview, you can listen to the Sarah Fraser Show, brand new podcast, Monday through Wednesday, everywhere podcasts are played, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, you name it. Shayna Rae, all right, so much scoop. Like I told you guys, you did it. I'm on TikTok, and people go nuts on TikTok about my TLC reviews. So the TLC interview that I did with Shayna Rae, star of I Am Shayna Rae, 2 things. We made more press. I'm going to tell you about that. And then the internet is buzzing. Is her cancer back? And then Gino, of course, Jasmine and Gino from 90 Day Fiance before the 90 days. Was he a sugar daddy? And well, I mean, would you, I guess, want to be his sugar babe? Because apparently he was out there paying. So Darci and Stacy, Leah!
Hey, girl.
Leah, are you up to date on Darci and Stacy?
Yeah, I'm up to date on everything we're talking about. Let's go.
Okay, so Darci and Stacy were just on my podcast today. Any guesses on how much you think that they've spent on plastic surgery?
Okay, so when I saw your clip, I couldn't tell who's who apart, but one of their plastic surgeries is lagging a little bit. One of them, I was like, ooh, you needed a little makeup.
They just went to Turkey, by the way. They went to okay, so my other question for people on the live, and as we build this show, is have you ever gone overseas for plastic surgery? Because the minute they've been overseas a couple times for plastic surgery, and that shit totally scares me. Like, I don't know. I mean, don't you feel like, I mean, people are board certified plastic surgeons here for a reason, but I know it costs insane amount of money.
Yes.
But would you ever go to Turkey? They got all their work done in Turkey.
Well, also keep in mind that, like, with people like them who are public figures, a lot of these things are free, right? So I'm going on my show and getting all this work done for free. So it makes sense. Now, let me keep in mind, I have 2 people that I know personally that have gone overseas. My little cousin, which her ass got infected from her BBL.
Oh my God, she got a BBL?
Yeah.
Okay, I just don't even know. The BBL seems like the worst because they take fat from other parts of your body, right?
From your stomach.
And they put it in your butt.
Yeah. And like the doctors from Botched are like on a campaign to tell people to stop getting BBLs because a lot of women die getting them. And then you talk about, like, even when my cousin was vetting her experience, she was like, oh, this doctor doesn't have as many deaths as this doctor or this doctor. So, like, when you're doing that overseas shit, like, it's a gamble. I wouldn't do it. I got a friend who got a whole tummy tuck in the Dominican Republic. And both of them went to the Dominican Republic. But, you know, Hazel E from Love and Hip Hop went to Turkey. And, I mean, her breasts were ruined after the doctor messed in Turkey. So when I saw Darci and Stacy, I was like, shout out to y'all. But I could never, ever, ever, ever. So,
well, Darci and Stacy allege that they could buy a house with how much money that they've spent on plastic surgery. They've spent over $500,000, the 2 of them. This is even going overseas and getting discounted. And then did you see all this news too, that I think Darci and Stacy's dad is really hot. Like, are you into Mike Silva at all?
I can see what you mean. I just want to know, because there's been a lot of conversation online and if Darci and Stacy are Black, but they said this season, I'm glad they cleared it up, that they actually have some African heritage in them, because there was a big conversation about whether they were Black or not.
Really? Okay. And it's funny. I never looked at them and thought they were mixed race. Did you?
Not originally, but then when you look at their dad, you can tell, like, he doesn't give white. He doesn't look white to me.
No, you're right. He looks. I actually almost wondered though if he was like Italian. You know how like sometimes Italian people can kind of have like a darker
Olive
complexion.
skin.
So
Yeah.
wait, what nationality did they say that they were?
Well, when they were talking about Ray Allen's wife, they were saying that they come from some like part of, I think, East Africa. I'm not 100% sure. Don't quote me, but
Okay.
they did say an African descent, and I was like, and thank you, because everyone was like, if you look at pictures pre-plastic surgery, they definitely look way more ethnic, and they're not natural blondes. So
Yeah, that's true.
when you look at
That's
those
true.
pre-plastic surgery pictures from when they were kids, you can kind of see it.
Now, Darci and Stacy are well into their 40s, right? So like 47, 48. And there's a new story out that Mike Silva actually bought their house. Apparently, he is the chairman of Mason Worley Parsons, which I don't even know what the fuck that is. But long story short, he's like in construction management and has like a really high up job. So they're saying like his salary is well over 350 grand a year. He bought his daughters a $750,000 house, which I guess, I mean, you know, and if my parents were going to buy me a house for $750,000, even though I was almost 50, I would take it.
Listen, my dad could buy me fucking groceries right now and I'm taking it. I don't care. Like, there's no shame in my game. That's the whole point of a parent. Parents' jobs don't stop at 18. They provide and they provide. That's why you go over their house, you steal their toilet paper, you steal their groceries, you steal whatever you can, because that's what parents do.
But don't you think it's a little ridiculous? I mean, they've been on reality TV like 5 years. I mean, this is the third season of Darci and Stacy. I mean, they've got to make decent money at this point.
Yeah, well, hopefully. But oftentimes I think that people don't realize with the reality TV show stuff too, it's like barter, right? Like a lot of the stuff you get is for free or for promotion or for press. So a lot of these people probably live above their means or are awarded certain things due to the access of being on these shows and people knowing. Like, again, if you don't think that they probably got every single one of those surgeries in Turkey for free, you're crazy.
Well, they did. They said that they were like heavily discounted, and you know, they were like taken like care of. Everything was like 5-star. I mean, you know, for Turkey, I guess. So everything was like 5-star. It was amazing. So yeah, you're right. They're given heavily discounted. And I mean, a lot of these stars, and the other thing, like on my TikTok, is the rumor that 1,000-Pound Sisters each only make $3,000 an episode. And I've actually had people confirm that work for TLC. Like that actually worked. Oh, I think we maybe lost Leah, but anyway. So yeah, Darci and Stacy, Mike Silva apparently bought their house. All right, let's move on to Shayna Rae. I Am Shayna Rae is one of the new hot shows that was out on TLC. I am obsessed. Now, you guys, 22-year-old stuck in an 8-year-old's body. I have gotten mixed reviews about my interview with her. Again, you can always listen to my full interviews, the Sarah Fraser Show podcast. I have a lot of the TLC stars on there, and then here we can talk more TLC dish. So if you have any questions or you want to talk about Shayna Rae, please do. Shout out to all of the Phrygiacs. We ended up getting in the Sun for this interview with Shayna Rae. So the Sun picked it up because I asked Shayna Rae, and people were like, how could you do that, bitch? I wanted to know if she's had sex. On the show, she says she's been to every base. Okay, well, I mean, I'm sorry. Her whole thing is, I want to be treated like a normal woman. Yes, I have pituitary gland disease, dwarfism, but I'm just a normal woman and I want to, just to have a normal life. I want to go out. I want to vape. I want to smoke cigarettes, and I don't want people in my face going, are you 8 years old? So I wanted to know if she'd had sex. And she said, yeah. And she said that if she felt empowered, that everything worked. She can have normal sex. Yes, 100%. People are like, that's so fucking rude. You shouldn't ask her that question. Yeah, she wants to. She wants to normalize dwarfism. She wants to have the full conversation. I will say this. A lot of people also are finding her to have like an attitude on the show. So I'm curious what you guys think. Do you think Shayna has like too much of an attitude on the show? Oh, you're back.
Yeah, sorry. I got a call, then it froze. I'm on my phone, and obviously I'm not in makeup. So I'm going to talk shit about people and then look crazy today. It's fine.
Okay. Shayna Rae, no, we've moved on from Darci and Stacy. We're talking about Shayna Rae.
I'm here.
Shayna Rae, yeah. Okay, well, the other thing that the internet is abuzz is her cancer back, which I have to say, I don't believe that it's back. And I was just talking about this. People thought, what's your opinion, by the way? People thought that it was rude that I asked Shayna if she'd had sex after she went on the show and she was like, I've been to all the bases. Thoughts?
I mean, Sarah, I've been cussed out by Beyonce's dad for asking a simple question. To me, there's all about tact. I don't think you asked her anything rude. I do think that she got a bit uncomfortable, but I think you kind of hit the nail on the head for what you asked previously about her having an attitude. And one of the places you often see her having an attitude on the show is with her sister Tara, and her sister is like, I will never let her disability be a roadblock. And so I think because of her disability, when you asked that and she kind of came back a little bit and was like, well, that's kind of my business. Or, because when you were like, how many BJs has Shayna Rae given? That was you being Sarah.
I want to know. Yeah.
That was being Sarah. But you talk about it on the show, so you put it out there, people can ask. And I think that's just like the fair game of the media. And you can always say no if you don't want to.
I agree. I always feel like if people are like, I don't want to answer or I'm not comfortable. Okay, fine. We'll move on. No, right. But what do you think? I mean, people do. So I have a take on Shayna Rae's attitude, right? Because I do, a lot of people feel like she comes off as spoiled, entitled, ungrateful.
Now, if you agree with that, but don't think that Tammy from 1,000 Pound Sisters is fucking entitled, Sarah, log off right now. Lock the door.
Bitch. I'm not logging off. It's my show. But here's the thing. I think she has a different attitude, but it's coming from the same place. I get why people find Shayna to have like a bit of an attitude. Don't you think she has like a little, Tammy to me there's really like unresolved, trauma there, right? From a kid, like as we talked about from like being a child. But Shayna Rae to me, I feel so bad for her. I feel like she's just so sheltered by her parents. They love her so dearly, right? They kept her kind of, because, when she did the podcast interview with me, she was saying that through this show, she's really connected with people with dwarfism. Before that, she never had, which is kind of shocking because it's 2022 with the internet.
Yeah, that's fair. And I do think that her parents do shelter her. And
too much. I do
get their concerns, though, especially even with the dating. When they brought up the whole pedophile thing, because that's my first question. That's a real slippery slope, man. Because if you're a grown male that is attracted to a woman that is 7 years old, even though she's grown.
Yeah. No, I understand. But I mean, don't you feel like, okay, but she's obviously going to find somebody. Do you think, I asked her this too. I'm like, why don't you date people with dwarfism? She says she's open to dating anybody that she connects with.
Yeah, but I think that's like her best bet because.
Well, how do you think she comes off to the audience? Do you think?
I don't know. I think like, one, I think that she's probably going to come off that way to a lot of people because she's also a repressed woman, right? Like,
yeah, right.
Your whole life you've been treated as if you're not grown. So I feel like I hate to say this way, but her whole being is like yelling to be something that she hasn't been treated. Like, if I was a person who always wanted to be something, and then you tell me my whole life I can't, you treat me like I'm not. Her whole life is like a state of rebellion, if that makes sense. So I think her attitude kind of comes from that position, and I get it because, I mean, who wants to be treated like a child?
No, I think you're absolutely right. And the thing is like it's not that she's entitled. I feel like she does come off angry, and I feel like rightfully so. Because a lot of people too are outraged that she doesn't have a driver's license. A lot of people are like, people with dwarfism drive all the time.
Definitely do.
No reason. Yeah, and I mean it is a little odd how sheltered. I mean, they ought to like at least let her live in an apartment down the street from them. You know what I mean?
Right, and she could drive. She could drive. Yeah, for sure.
She could drive. But anyway, I had to shout out The Sun. They picked up the sex question and they just published it today. So I absolutely love it. Leah knows what it's like to make press when you do an interview. It's always great when you see that they actually publish the name of your show.
Right. When they actually give you credit. Right.
Yeah, when they really give you credit.
Saying, like some random whore with a pink mic interviewed Shayna Rae.
Yeah, exactly. Moving on to Welcome to Platteville. Leah, have you watched Welcome to Platteville? Of course, they're on hiatus right now as they film season 4.
Yeah, no, I love it.
What do you love about Welcome to Platteville? Because to me, again, this is like a little bit of a Shayna Rae show. TLC is awesome at finding very sheltered people.
Niched, right? Like a real niche type of people.
Niched. I mean, these guys had no cell phones, no internet. They had nothing.
It's interesting because, I grew up in in the South, very religious. So I, obviously not to that extent,
Okay.
Like my mom wasn't like, but I mean, I grew up with kids who like couldn't watch Harry Potter because it was sorcery, like stuff like that. I mean, I'm from the South, the Bible Belt, like that's.
No, I know. Look, I
That's
know
how
people in
are.
Maine.
So
I know kids
I'm
in
not
Maine
gonna
like
lie.
that.
Like, oftentimes I can see what the parents. I think this show is like the perfect lens of like when you shelter your kids too much, what is to come. The kids like Ethan, and then what's the younger one with the boyfriend Max and
Mariah.
Mariah.
Well, I know because I want to share. Have you seen Mariah? She just showed her tattoo. Like, I'm sorry, I'm not into tattoos at all. She just got this massive rose on her thigh. I want to know your like immediate reaction. Look at this. First of all, she's got a hot fucking body.
I was gonna say that looks good though. I'm not gonna lie.
She looks damn good. All right.
She does.
This is on Mariah Jasper's Instagram. Massive, huge roll a rose all up on her thigh and like down like her crotch area. I'm sorry. Are you gonna want that in 60 years? Why do people do this?
People like tattoos don't mean shit anymore. Like, 10 years ago, you were crucified if you had a tattoo. Now there's gonna be like nanas in retirement homes with like a whole, face sleeve.
You want to talk about rebellion? Look at that. Like, I feel like Mariah in 4 more years will have full sleeves, and maybe a tattoo on the face. I mean,
I just think she's gonna push it to the limit now because she can.
With her parents.
Oh yeah, like I know her mom is like rolling around, but I also think it's also good to watch the dynamic shift as the mom is like, okay, this is not the way that I'm going to keep my kids in my life. Let me adjust a bit. I enjoy watching that process for them because your kids, I think the show also highlights that like your kids are a reflection of you, but they are not you. And like you cannot control your children in their thoughts, their actions, everything. You can try to raise them the best that you can, but there becomes a point where it's like too controlling. And I think we're watching like literally what happens when parents put too much reign on their children.
Oh my God, 100%. I mean, if there's anything to be learned from that show, it's like, just do not be overbearing parents because all these kids are rebelling.
Helicopter parents 101.
Oh yeah. Well, they're reportedly filming now for season 4. We're not sure when we're going to get a release date, but I suspect it will be August. They've dropped in August before. And of course, we've been hearing for a while that they're going to start featuring more of the kids and less of Kim and Barry, which I think is a great, because what more can we get from Kim and Barry? We know they're uber religious. We know that they're trying to, I guess, like keep control of their kids, and yet they are on this reality show. So I don't know how sheltered the kids can be. Lydia just turned 18, celebrated Valentine's Day with her girls. And I've read in a couple of blogs that they're saying that Lydia is kind of like going to be more independent, but she's not as rebellious as Mariah and Ethan. I mean, because Ethan and Olivia haven't even spoken to the parents. I don't know. That one is a mystery to me, but she just turned 18 and she celebrated Valentine's Day. So of course, coming back, I mean, aside from I Love a Mama's Boy, Welcome to Platteville, well, of course, 90 Day Fiance, one of their highest rated stuff. All right, let's move on. 90 Day Fiance before the 90 days. I feel like this is the greatest. I think this is the greatest show of the 90 Day franchise ever. I don't care what anyone says.
Love it.
Gino and Jasmine.
Can we get into it? Oh my God. Can we get into it?
Look, they're a hot mess. You saw the recent Entertainment Tonight interview she did, right? They had to stop production because he allegedly hit her. Yes.
Now. Stop it.
Leah, it is so bad. These two are so toxic. Now, the next episode airs February 20th. I don't know. They're being very close mouth. I mean, I don't know if these two are still together in real life or not, but people.
Oh, absolutely not. There's no way.
You don't think so?
You could send my nude pictures to anyone, not just your ex, to anyone, and think that you would be alive. And I think it's crazy, and I think the show did a great job in production. And I don't know. I mean, I think Jasmine is crazy. I think she is crazy. Don't get me wrong. But they did a good job of vilifying her for there to be an ultimate curveball. No one could have told me that this man would have sent her nudes to his ex and then thought it was okay. Like, was trying to justify it. Like, Sarah, I would have been in fucking jail. Fuck the cameras. When you have an ex sending me shit saying like, oh, look at, and then when he tried to justify it, saying they're not nudes, they're just of your boobs
or whatever.
I'll kill everyone in here. Don't do that. Don't do that, Gino, because you're a little too stupid. And then the part that made me fall on the floor of that whole situation, she's like, oh, you want to send my nudes? Well, let everybody see you without the hat. That's when Gino snapped. I'm sure that's when he actually hit her. Because, you know, that's a trigger for him, Sarah.
I know, the hair, the hat. Look, okay, obviously we're laughing about it, but I feel like these two are the most toxic couple. He is the most toxic person on television. I'm sorry. I don't even see, like, he's so unattractive to me. I just don't even, oh my God, the eyes being so close together. I can't. I just can't.
All of it.
He looks like back in the day, a contestant on American Idol that they rejected. I'm not here for it. I hate it so much. I hope the hell they're not together. And did you think, I thought he like way overreacted when she had that like half stripper guy who was just like shirtless giving her a lap dance. That was so stupid.
No, I don't think he overreacted on that, only because Jasmine is literally insane and would have him FaceTime her when he would go get food, like in America. Like, she was super insecure. So for you to have all that energy about what I'm doing, for then you to go let a man gyrate his crotch in your face up and down in the same hotel as me, that's problematic. I was team Gino until the nudes. I was like, this girl's crazy. She's off the chain. It's a little too much. She's insecure. I was team Gino. I was like, he needs to run. And then when she booked a trip with his cards, I was like, oh, run, Gino, run. And he was wrong for the toothbrush thing. That was a shitty gift. But she also didn't take into consideration that this man is staying in a foreign country, paying for hotels, transportation, food, and everything while he's here, like to be with you. So
they are TV gold.
Gold.
TV gold. Yeah, Gino. Anyway, Gino's apparently, a former sugar daddy. So I want to know, oh my God, if anyone, okay, for all 4 people watching, if any of you know one of Gino's sugar babes, I want to speak to her. I want her on the podcast. Like, I want to know, who was Gino sending thousands and thousands of dollars? Because apparently he was spending anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000 a month on sugar babes from Canton, Michigan. That's where Gino's from.
I want a fucking sugar daddy. I know that much. I want to find one.
Would you want Gino? What if it was Gino? No, you don't. Okay, that's the thing. Like,
that's the thing. I want a sugar daddy, but like giving no sugar, just a little taste.
Yeah. Okay. Well, good. Like, just
a little taste. Like, I just need something. Like, pay for something.
I feel like I always kill her name, but Hamina. Okay, Hamina and Mike, what did you think of his farting? And then he sort of blamed it on his ADHD. I mean, oh my God. Like, I was like, once he drops that he has ADHD, we can't even make fun of him for the fact the farting again.
When you're making out in a mood and someone farts over you, just go to bed and get out. Actually, matter of fact, go on the couch and get out.
But he blames it on his ADHD.
Well, he says the cleaning part. I think him being disgusting is just on him. But I think him, like, when she picked up his boxers and sniffed him and was like, I was like, see, that's a telltale sign I'm not marrying your ass. Because if you can't wipe your own ass, what are we doing?
Okay, when you think about those two apparently are still together.
He's a good guy though. In the essence of like the disgustingness, he's a good guy. And also keep in mind, this girl's been with hitmen. She's been with powerful, like, mafia men. Mike is a nice man who has decent money, who's nice to her kids. I think she was tired of living on the wild side, and he's like a step of fresh air for her shenanigans. She was dating a hitman, for God's sake. Mike is a step up.
I would run from that, honestly. Like, I mean, I know Mike was like phased for a hot second, but that was like too much for me. I'm like, no, she's just, I don't know. She gives me like completely using him vibes, like completely.
Well, he's been paying for everything. So I agree to an extent, but I think he really loves her. And I think she loves him too. But if you also keep in mind, like, a lot of what people fail to realize about this show, the 90-Day franchises, is oftentimes culture comes between the couples. It's not about like what we think is ideal, because of course we think in our American mindset, but keep in mind when Jimena's father was talking to her about being with Mike, he said he will provide a good life for my it's not about whether you like him, it's about what kind of life he provides for you. America is the only country where it's like you do what you want to do and what you feel and who you love. These other countries, they're
I know,
like arranged marriages,
arranged marriages,
money, a dowry, what you can pay for. Even that show with the former 90-day couples from Thailand. I can't remember her name, with the white guy. She's from Thailand. And they're bringing
they just got their spinoff, David and oh my God.
And Annie, is it?
Annie, yes, I just had that on the pod.
Remember on that show, he didn't have the money to do the dowry properly. Like in these countries, it's not about love and all that shit. It's about what you can provide. So like all of that, oh, he's in it for money. Like that's their culture. I'm not going to give you a blessing to someone who cannot provide for my child. That's what they do. So I feel like Americans get so caught up when it's like, it's for the money. Duh.
I know. It's so true. It's anyway. Okay, let's move on. I want to talk 1,000 Pound Friends, which is my new favorite show. 1,000 Pound Friends, of course, is the 4 friends that collectively weigh 1,000 pounds or over. I think they each weigh like 350, and then Vanessa weighs like 400 and something.
Wow.
I'm obsessed with this show. I mean, they're the ultimate, like they all give each other pep talks all the time. I mean, I think their storylines are great. The only thing that's missing is some more male drama. You know, sadly, we know Vanessa's like husband died. We haven't met any of the other women's like real husbands yet or boyfriends. I mean, I want to see more of that. Because like with Tammy, with Amy, you know, you get the other people involved. What's your first take on this show when you watched?
It's a cute fill-in for 1,000 Pound Sisters. You know what I mean? Like it's a cute little fill-in obese show for TLC. But I will say this. I don't know if you watched I think it was called Too Large, which was this is a spinoff of that.
Yes.
And the main character, the girl with the dark hair, I can't remember her name. But I tell you what, when they showed the scene where she had to piss on puppy pads, it took me to a different level of disgust. When I watched it, I said, see, this is why big people get a horrible name. Because this bitch is pissing on a puppy pad. She couldn't make it to the bathroom. So she let
I remember that.
Pissing on a pad. And that for me was the moment where I was like, I don't know if these shows help. Because while, I mean, I guess that's their reality. I've never been that big, so I can't, attest to that. Pretty disgusting. However, I will never turn off these obesity shows because for me, they're a reminder. Leah, don't ever get that fucking big. You can be big, but that fucking big. I promise you, I watch them all the time to be like, do not ever get that big. You don't want to live this life, girl.
Oh my God. Well, I mean, Vanessa, okay, do you feel like, I feel like Vanessa Cross on 1,000 Pound Friends could be the new Tammy. Like, I love it. She's got a lot of attitude.
But she's not as emotional as Tammy. Like, she is to an extent, but Tammy feels sorry for herself, but just won't say it. Vanessa don't feel sorry for herself. Like she does, but she's like, I don't understand why I can't lose weight. And then it's like they cut away and she's like eating a Whopper. And she's like, this sure is good. Like,
well, and Vanessa though is like what I want Tammy to be, right? Because Vanessa has like a feeder sister, right? Like the sister, for whatever psychological reason, does not want Vanessa to like lose weight. Feeds her, feeds the kids.
She's skinny. I don't get it.
But have you ever had people in your life? I've had probably like 3 or 4 people in my life who are skinny, almost borderline anorexic, and they love to feed you. Have you ever had those people in your life?
No.
What? You haven't?
No.
Oh man.
Well, first of all, most of my family is fat, so that's we're all in this together. Sis.
Most of mine is too. But it's weird. One of my best friends growing up, his mom she was completely anorexic. She always weighed maybe 98 pounds, like the skinniest thing, like sunken in face. And she had an obsession with watching people eat. Like we would always go over to her house. She always had snacks. She always wanted us to eat. It was crazy.
Well, I told you about the when I was on the dating sites and they have those categories for fat people like feeties, smash. So I definitely believe that that's a thing, but I never had anyone like personally trying, like in my life, trying to feed me. But I mean, it's just crazy to me. But you know what was shocking for me of the last episode was when when Vanessa and her son went to the doctor.
Oh my
and
God.
The son weighed more. And first of all, that I wouldn't even have guessed he weighed that much. He probably looked like a good 350 to me, maybe. And that was it. So when he got on the scale and weighed more than his mom, I was like, Vanessa, if anything, this should tell you why you have to get your life together, because there's no way
that
he was 18, 460, like almost 500 pounds at 18.
Do you think the show has like what it takes though to get a season 2? I feel like we're really on the border. I love it. I love the premise. I love, they all sort of like it's kind of like, I don't know, Spice Girls meets Dr. Phil. You know what I mean? They're like fun. You want to go out with them, but they're like always trying to like, all right, girl, you climbed up the top, like to the top of the water slide. We know you can't go down, but like next time, girl, next time you're always
I felt that shit. I've done that before. Not a water slide, but I've definitely been on a goddamn Six Flags ride and they've been like, ma'am, we can't get the seatbelt down. And you're just like in front of everybody and you're like, fuck. I mean, so there's not enough drama. Like one thing about Thousand Pound Sisters is every episode, Tammy's going to have a meltdown. There's going to have us talking or there's going to piss somebody off or that is, and some people would say that's a one trick horse there too. But I will say that like, I just don't see enough. I think this group particularly, I think because TLC has had so much success with fat people shows, their ideals are they're going to make another show with fat people. But here's the problem. I think this was a group of women who came in and was like to TLC, we're not going to have drama. We're going to uplift. But that's not what sells commercials. That's not what pays the bills on TLC, boo. So like we need a little more friction or like their family storylines need to be better because I even thought when it was Vanessa and the main girl, it was still more I got more oomph from it. Now the black girl and the new other girl.
Megan, Tina. I think
they're just there.
I think Megan is the black girl, I think. And then Tina
far right.
And Ashley, I think you're talking Vanessa and Ashley. Ashley's the one with the striped top. So I think Ashley and Vanessa have great chemistry. The other two, I'm with you. I mean, I feel like we got to have something else. And it's funny. I do feel like they're trying to be like the positive. Like I'm saying, it's too cheerleader-ish. Like it's too, cheer, Jerry Harris before he was arrested for child pornography, giving everybody like a mat talk, I mean, well, it was, remember? He used to be, hey, you can do it!
Shut the fuck up.
And then unfortunately, he had some issues, but I mean, he was like,
do you know what the show gives me? It gives me like Real Housewives, like friend of the shows. They're not really friends with the people. Like I feel like the two girls from the original, Vanessa and Ashley, were actually real friends. I feel like the other two were just two fat people in the vicinity who could shoot with them. And they were like, do you want to be friends for the sake of the show? But they don't know each other well enough to be like disrespectful. Because if you realize like Ashley and Vanessa's dynamic is a lot more different and real than the other two ladies with everyone else.
Session was awesome. Like I love when the therapist made her talk to herself. Like it was so good. I was like, that's so raw. I want more of that. All right, we're wrapping up today's episode. So I want to like kind of crown a TLC hottie. It's twofold. I have a potential hottie in the works. My 600-pound life this week, David. I think David has the potential to be so hot. Now he's 600 pounds, this poor guy. I mean, this kid has been through so much fucking hell. I can't even imagine. His adopted parents decide to give him up after they go away for like 10 days for a fucking funeral. Don't take any of their adopted children with them. These guys are like 16. They throw a party. They come home. The parents kick them all out. And like, that's it. Never spoke to them again. So of course he has like food issues.
Right.
He gets adopted by this amazing woman, Robin. I'm telling you, if Boo can stay the course, this guy will be hot. Like the come up will be great.
Okay.
Cricket's great. I want to give David a makeover so bad. Like I want David to lose all the weight. Supposedly he's been approved for surgery, but we don't have an update. I want him to get the Dr. Now surgery. I want to give him a makeover so bad. Shave the face. I want cheekbones. I want short hair. I just feel like the teeth could be done. I don't know. I feel like he could be a hottie. And a lot of them like don't have that potential, but he does.
I was going to say, I think I have an eye for obese Finn who would be fine as hell. Like I used to watch The Biggest Loser and pick who would be hot.
Which one would be hot? You can almost tell they have some bone structure under there.
I'm good at that. The only problem is for me in my personal life, every time I pick a good fatty, he loses weight and then forgets about me. But that's not here, neither here nor there. Either way, I usually have an eye for that. He doesn't give me that, but I don't know. Maybe.
I want him so bad to have victory. Like I don't know that story to me. And then of course Lisa Eberson from a couple weeks ago, and Randy, her husband, died. The one that was like a total feeder. Like I really am dying to find out what's going on with her. Anyway, all right, Leah Henry, where can people follow you? And you put out new stuff on your YouTube all the time. Oh, by the way, here's an honorary mention this week for Dr. Proctor. He's from 1,000-Pound Sister or 1,000-Pound Friends. He's good. They know how to find these hot weight loss doctors. I'll tell you what.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you could gastric my sleeve.
We're ready for all that. Yes. All right, Dr. Proctor. All right, Leo. Where do we find you?
Yes, at Leah A. Henry on everything. Leaha Henry.
Okay, you can listen to Darci and Stacy. They're on today's podcast episode. Also, Darci talks about the internet wants her to get back with Jesse. So she, by the way, feels that Jesse is fueling that rumor. So she gets into why she thinks that, like what's behind it. Also, how's it going with Georgie? So much. They get into a ton of detail. Of course, their plastic surgery journey. Are they planning to get more? It was good. It's good. Their third season. And then, of course, Shayna Rae. She talks about her sex life. Love it or hate it. On the Sarah Fraser Show, Monday through Wednesday. All right. Bye, Leah. Bye, guys.
Bye.
See ya.